A lot of you will have heard of the big rock, little rock way of anchoring a tent when you're on hard ground, or maybe you're out of tent stakes and you need to use something else. Last night I set up my tent and I didn't have enough tent pegs to peg out this guy line. So I used an approach that I prefer over the big rock, little rock. Take a stick and girth hitch it with my line or the corner of my tent, and then kind of pile it up as an H. So I put one rock on each end of the stick, and then I'll, if I need to, depending on the size of the rocks, if these are big rocks, I don't really have to do anything else. But these aren't really big rocks, so I just put another rock over the top of the whole thing. And what I end up getting is a pretty strong anchor. So I can yard down on that pretty hard and get a nice tight guy line. But what's nice about this is it doesn't pull up on the rocks the same way as when you use the big rock, little rock method. So I find with that method, it tends to lift the rocks quite a bit, and it's best for pulling directly out and not as much up. So this is really great for pulling up, and it also means it's quite easy to adjust. I knew I wasn't in a very challenging situation last night, so I just used a short stick, but you can use a very long stick and then get a lot of rocks on it if you need to. With a longer stick, you can move one corner and tweak where your anchor point is versus where all of your rocks are and how you need it with your tent. I just girth hitch the stick. I want this anchor point to be right about here. So I'm gonna get that point perfectly by using these rocks. And it lets me tighten the anchor point pretty easily because I have access and it's pointing exactly where I want it to be versus kind of going under a rock and disappearing there. All right, see the stick is down there and the guy line is going directly to the stick without having to touch the rock. You want this to be a line following the same angle and not pull out sideways because it's not wrapping around a rock from the ground. It goes in a nice straight line and it works out really well.